Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you. And Maud. Hello, Maud. Hey, get the cameraman. So, where are we?
My name is Tue Madsen. Just for those who don't know me, I've worked with a shitload of bands over the years. Sick of It All, The Haunted, Moonspell, Deer in Grey, Baby Metal, Ectomorph, August Burns Red, At the Gates. I'm looking at the wall of CDs. Miss Sugar.
You got a Grammy, right?
Yeah. No, we didn't get the Grammy. Nominated.
Yeah.
Darn.
9 years ago-ish, you had your studio down in the garage, just down here. And we did some videos about how to track and mix drums, how to mic, how to this and that. What we want to do today is make an updated version. 2018 version of how to track and mix drum, guitar, bass, vocals, mix and master. I don't know how many that was. It's supposed to be 5. After you watch these videos, you know how to make a hit or you know how to make a production.
We got to write a song, so we have something to record.
Yeah. And it's not going to be reggae. You're going to play the drums?
No.
I'm going to play the drums. You want to talk about, you have a house kit, right?
Yes, I have a Yamaha recording custom kit. I got that set up for you.
Yeah.
I got a lot of room mics set up, not necessarily because I want to use all of them or any of them, but some different stereo setups in different places in the studio that gives very different results.
Plus, your drum setup is in an old swimming pool.
Yes.
So it really gives it that hard edge.
It's weird. I mean, I used to be down in the garage and I had the drums up here just like stored. And then one day I was thinking, maybe I should set them up so my son could have fun playing it. And then when I set it up and just hit that bass drum one time, the pool was completely empty back then. And it just sounded like every Bon Jovi and Scorpions album played at once. It was like, whoa, and I was like, holy shit. Now I got a lot of stuff in the room, so it's not as crazy anymore, but it still has that very hard ambience that sounds really good, I think.
So it's kind of a signature sound when tracking drums here.
Yeah, it is.
We're gonna make a song. So do you have any ideas?
I have 2 riffs. Let's see where it brings us.
Great. Yeah, man. That's the drum setup.
It is.
Yep. I like the acoustics in here. It's gonna be the caveman blues. So, what did you have in mind in terms of a riff?
I was thinking something anthraxy like this.
I think I'm gonna need this because this is very movie. I have you here as well.
Like 2, 3, 4. Maybe on the crash, so it has more of a hardcore do-do-gak, and it'll be
Caveman.
Hi-hat.
Hi-hat?
Yeah.
For the other thing?
Yeah, second
and what
part.
is that? Can you play it for me again? Try the 2 things together and I'll see if I can catch up.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. So what was the last part again? Can you play the last part?
Yeah. Just like Chubby. It's the
Can
best.
you play the chuggy part?
Yeah, that's the best riff in the world. This one. Maybe you have a breakdown like a do-do-do, do-do-do. You know, like south of it. Toms. Yeah, but both hands. It's fast, but you can do it.
Now you are pushing me.
I know.
So, babadam, just once
And then
or twice.
like a slow breakdown part, like just keep going that one like da-da-dong, da-da-dong, China.
China.
Or maybe like go crash, China, crash, something like that. Maybe put the China on the snare.
Bang, dong, bang.
Yeah.
Okay. And just keep it to those two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll throw in a... and that'll be the cue for the end of the part.
And then what?
And then a do-do-do, do-do-do, to finish it off.
And the whole thing all over
Yeah.
or whatever?
I'll throw in a solo maybe.
Yeah. I have to write that shit down.
Yeah.
Can you grab me a piece of paper, please?
Yeah.
Since I'm stuck here down in the hole. Thank you. And a nifty little pen. Okay, A1. Yeah.
A2 hi-hat.
A1 again. And then chorus. Best riff. Okay. Crash. BD. China. Snare drum. Good.
Awesome.
Oh man, that's hard.
Let's
We almost did it without screwing too much up.
Yeah.
I think we need a click just to consolidate if we're gonna
The
play along
tempo.
to it.
Yeah.
How do you usually do with bands?
Pretty much like we do now. Sometimes people
Usually people know the song before they come to the studio.
That is, of course, helpful when they do. But yeah, either like we're doing now, not with the guitar playing in the room. I'll silence this cabinet when we do the record, so we only got drums in here. We don't want my cue guitar mistakes ending up in the ambience tracks.
Yeah.
And, you know, one guitar player, maybe the whole band. Actually, whatever makes the drummer more comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I think the most important thing about every aspect of recording is making the musician comfortable. You know, what's your favorite amp? What's my favorite amp? I don't care. Whatever makes this guy happy. Because if he's happy with what he's hearing, he's going to play better and it's going to be a better record. So for us, I would play with you.
So we find a click, and I play along with the click, and so we have the arrangement, but there will be spillover from the guitar.
I just unplug this one.
And then you switch to...
That's a cabinet. Actually, what you're hearing on the headphones is not this cabinet.
Okay.
It's the cabinet in there.
Cheating me.
Yeah.
I had the illusion of that you were actually playing here.
Could be something like this.
Is that what the drummers usually play with?
Could be. Is this too fast?
I don't know. I'll be on work on the... I think I can manage. If it's too fast, I'm too old, and I'm not. So it's good.
You can do it.
I can do it.
Okay.
So what tempo is this?
260, 130, depending on how you count it.
130 BPM. Okay, cool. And your guitars where, you say? The amp?
In there.
It's in here? It's hidden. Oh, I see it. Like an old sauna room. Something from like a 70s porn movie, I think. But now it's for tracking guitars. I am just gonna grab some water. All right. Let's do the thing.
Let's do it.
So this is actually a keeper if I play well.
Yes. Do you want me in there or in here?
I don't care.
I'll be in here then.
I think I'll jump into my full man's outfit or just my short pants because
It's getting hot in here.
It's getting hot here.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I guess you can since you're answering me. How does it work with this microphone mixer? If I want to hear the click, can you play?
Yes, sir.
So I can hear it? Okay, now I got it. Yeah. Yep.
It's good.
I think I got it.
Do a count in on the hi-hat. Sounds rock.
All right, all right. I'll do it. What are you doing?
I stepped on the fucking cord. Okay.
It's confusing when the guitar is not there anymore.
Yes, I know. We just do it again.
We fucking do it, man.
Yeah. You
All
ready?
right. Click me up. I lost the drumstick.
Ah.
I'm sorry. Fuckity fuck. I'll have a tight grip this time.
Ready?
Yep. You think we got it?
I think we do. Let's have a listen to it.
All right. Did we follow the arrangement?
I think so.
I think so too. Otherwise, this is the new arrangement.
We do have one major problem though.
Which is?
Door was open and the click track was blaring out in here. So
Okay. It's very low in the background, but
it's no good, man. Once you get through the mixing and compressing all the different tracks and mastering and everything gets up here, you'll hear it on headphones. Maybe I have a different... This is good. Usually I would have you do 2, 3, 7, 20 takes. Okay. You know, the first time you play a song, you're relearning the song. The second time, you play it more easygoing and because you know the song now. And then it usually gets better until it doesn't get better anymore. Okay. Also regarding the click thing, these days a lot of things are fixed up like 100% or even 120%, so no hit from the drummer gets out of line. I'm not one of those guys who do that. I like to get performances from drummers. I like personality and human emotions in my takes. And then you might end up with a lot of shit and a few genius strokes. But then when you, afterwards, if you have like 10 different takes and pick all the best parts from the best takes, you get a phenomenal take. And that's my preferred way of working. I just finished doing a Hate Sphere album and he'll do 10 takes and then you'll go through 10 different takes of him playing exactly the same thing. It's like, yeah, this is good, that's good, this is good, not so good. This is amazing. But if you keep everything in the grid version and like, I only need one verse.
Yeah.
You're not allowing something genius to happen by accident. And I'm a big believer in
And also that it
excellence.
has a bit of life.
Yes.
I mean, you don't play gritty. There's always, also that if you're a little backbeat, which is ballsy.
Yeah.
I mean, if John Bonham wasn't on the grid, I mean, he could be, with snare.
Exactly.
So,
And for me, it keeps it dangerous in a way. Like something is throwing your brain a little bit off the click track, and that keeps you focused on the music. If everything is always exactly where it should be, then it kind of gets a little boring for me. And where do we start? We start with playing music, and we only take out the toolbox if we have to. That's my philosophy.
camera guy, is it a little odd with the snoring coming from the back seat? Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
She makes that noise, and it's a good thing.
Do we have a take here, you think?
I think we do.
Cool. Shall we hear a snippet solo and see if we can approve?
That was
A snippet. Okay. I think it sounds well. I mean, the brum, I haven't used a double pedal for more than 20 years, and you can actually hear that. So we can decide if it's going to be part of the artistic expression that it sounds like a sack of potatoes been thrown on the floor, or we want to replace it.
Or we can pick the part from another take.
Yeah.
And that sounds better.
Yeah, that one was good.
Except this editing was shitty.
Yeah. So when you are checking out a drum take, do you check it out with a click on? Or do you just throw the click away because it's not going to be in the mix anyway?
Usually I'm in here just listening, not playing.
Yeah.
And I will have the click track really low. Because for me, it works different for every guy.
Okay.
But for me, if the click track is there and the drums are going like this, the click track makes me think that everything is straight.
Okay.
So I need to hear it without the click and see if it feels like music, because I don't mind everything being behind or rushing or anything, as long as it sounds like music. Something was a little slow here. Sometimes when you hear something being slow, it's actually something right before it being fast.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Chicka chin.
Yeah. I'm stretched to the limit on my digging.
It's not a crime. We also have to have this.
I tried this before, I think. More than once.
Sometimes I'll leave all the time, I'll leave the drum tracks, maybe still not perfect. And then once you start tracking bass or guitar, you'll hear certain things when you start playing on top of it that's like, oh, this is not good. And then you need to go in and do little things. Little click there.
A click? I didn't hear it.
Tom hit. Here. Beep.
This part is not as good as the other one. Now you're back to rhythm, so the solo kind of fucked me up a little bit in my timing. So we should just replace that whole chunk. Yeah.
Awesomeness.
So you have a drum chair so I can sit next to you?
I think we have an extra 1 or 3 or 5 in there.
Oh, yes, I see it. I feel it. I got it. So, can you please tell me about your mic setup that you have?
Yes. I have a Sennheiser 602 on the bass drum, which this is what it sounds like coming in clean with a tiny bit of EQ, but not really a whole lot.
And you're looking at the red thing?
this one over here, which is like a golden age version of the Neve 1073 preamps. I have the Sennheiser 901, which sounds completely the opposite.
Very clean.
Yeah. And together they sound like this.
So you have the roundness and you have the attack.
Yes. And sometimes I will only use the first one. Then I have my Ludwig 24-inch bass, John Bonham style bass drum in front.
Okay.
With a mic inside, like a sub kick, but I don't use it so much to get sub. I get plenty of sub from the close mic. It's more to bring ambience to the bass drum track, which is very tight, and that sounds something like this.
What about the snare?
It's a Shure 57 on the top, and yeah, and a Sennheiser 421 on the bottom. And with the bottom as well. I run the snare, both snare tracks, and if I'm using a sample, I use that together with the mics, run it into a group, and use a group compression for the snare. Without it, it sounds like this, and like this with it. The toms, if we did this video in 2 months, I would probably have different choices for everything. But now I have this, I don't even know what brand it is, some kind of a 57, some Chinese 57-ish tom mics. I really like to use the Shure 57 on toms. But these, at the moment, I just had a few experiences where they just picked up the drums in a better way, and I'm using those today. It's not a lot to go by, no. But I'm also running them through the Golden Age mic pre's,
yeah.
And actually cranking the input stage a little bit more than I usually would.
Okay.
Because they just sound so damn good when you crank them. It's not like distortion or anything. It's just like giving them a little bit extra push. I have the Shure SM7 for the hi-hat.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll use condenser mics.
Yeah.
But I really like the way that the SM7 just brings out the hi-hat in a way that is more usable a lot of way.
Yeah.
It sounds very much like hi-hat, yeah. And not just like fizzle, like which is why I quite like that. I have an Octava on the ride, but you're not really using the ride as a ride cymbal, so I think for crash rides, playing like this, I would probably get everything I need from the overhead mics.
Yeah.
So for the overheads, I'm using Earlund, some Swedish mics, okay. With a triangular diaphragm.
Yeah.
They're very open sounding without enhancing brightness, which is not natural. I'd like to decide for myself if I want the extra brightness, and I can give it. But these are just open sounding in a very nice way. I always use like an A-B setting, like that I place depending on where the cymbals are. I strive for getting everything with 2 mics, but usually not possible. You need some support mics for splashes or hi-hat ride cymbal and stuff. I just find the stereo perspective much more interesting when you're using A-B than when you're using XY setup of microphones. Moving on to the room mics.
Yeah.
I have a set of ribbon mics that are quite dull. Doesn't sound very roomy because now they're pointed at the drums. If you point them away from the drums, you pick up a lot of rooms and no drums at all. And then I have a set of Røde mics in the corner of the pool behind the drum kit. So they like really inside the corner, so they pick up a lot of low end.
Yeah, that's
as you can clearly hear. Yeah,
caveman.
and it's way too much, and it's because of the dimensions of the room. I think it's 47 or 49 hertz or something. But for the right kind of beat and stuff, it can be extremely powerful.
Yeah.
And then I have another set of Earlund, the Swedish mics, but a different, the bigger kind, in front of the drum kit.
Oh yeah, very boomy.
And they also pick up a lot of this low end. So that, you know, if I play the drum track without any room mics, this is what it sounds like. And if I play the same thing with all the room mics, it's a whole different ball game. And, you know, now I just raised all of them, which is maybe not I gotta, you know, sort them out when I start mixing and see, oh, this brings in a lot of this character, this has another character, see what I like and blend in.
I think it sounds badass.
But it gives a lot of different options, and that's my main perspective for recording all those room mics.
Yeah.
Getting different sounds for the drum kit.
Right on. I think we have a drum take here.
Me too.
Yeah, cool. So I mean, even though that we call it tracking and mixing metal drums, I'm not a metal drummer, but I did my best to give it a hard punch. So what now?
I think we should put some bass on next to get those low frequencies represented before we start doing guitar sound.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Yeah.
So this concludes episode 1, tracking and mixing metal drums. And if you hang on, we will have tracking, mixing metal bass in a second. And I think we have a bass player here.
Maybe we do.